$500 million and not to have that lying around in our bank account. But it might be different when it comes to how Donald Trump thinks he's perceived.
Yeah, and Jen, I just
Who
want
do
to
you
start
support? Biden or Trump? RFK, baby.
by saying that you should know that there are a lot of Trump allies who watch your show, and they've been texting me with the argument.
RFK, Jesse the Body Ventura ticket. That's right. Jesse the Body Ventura is going to be the president after he's RFK's vice president.
Of one, most billionaires are not liquid. This
Right.
is not that surprising. The other argument saying this is about the insurance companies, this insane amount, this is their words, not mine, in terms of the bond. These insurance companies can't get that much money, that much collateral. So there is an argument here among Trump world. But as you know, Donald Trump himself has painted himself, his entire image, not just politically, but also before that, his brand on being a billionaire. And that is why this case was so personal for him in the first place, was the idea that everything he had built was essentially on a lie, it was fraudulent, that he wasn't really this rich, that he had inflated those numbers. That's why you saw him so fascinated and so intent on being part of this case, sitting in that courtroom, listening to these various witnesses, because it is to his personal brand. It also goes to his political brand. This idea that I built myself up as a billionaire and I could do that for you too goes away if you can't afford to pay this kind of money.
And let me just go back to Renato on this, because you did mention that most real estate developers are not liquid. They can't just write a $500 million check. I think that is probably true for most billionaires.
Damn, dude, they're just flexing on him. They are currently flexing on Donald Trump. They're calling him a broke dude. Chill. That's fucked up.
If they have assets, the question is, you kind of said, maybe if he prepared, he would start to sell things off. I mean, is that a real possibility that he might have to do that?
I will just say that in other circumstances, other matters that I've handled, that is what's happened. Essentially, real estate developers refinance properties, sell properties, do what they have to do to get cash. Now, candidly, I've never been in a case where a real estate developer needed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions. It's only been in the tens of millions, but nonetheless, for those real estate developers, it was a very significant ask, right, to come up with that kind of money if you have if your net worth is in the hundreds of millions. And so, but for Donald Trump, nonetheless, he could have anticipated this and sold a property in the midst of the New York Attorney General's proceeding. And I really would say one of two things is true here: either he doesn't have the wealth that he suggests he has, or he didn't plan whatsoever, was so blind to what was occurring that he essentially left himself in a position where now he's going to incur significant costs and hassle and a disruption to his business that was unnecessary.
All right. Yeah, he's a broke boy. He's been a broke boy. He needs to get his money up. He needs to not get his money up, but he's been getting his money up too hard. So Donald Trump, over the weekend, had some statements. And some of those statements were incendiary, as always. And others were taken out of context. Mainstream media came after our boy. Specifically, and the Brandon camp came after our boy. Specifically, when Trump said, if I don't get reelected, it will be a bloodbath. Now, they were quick to jump on that and go, oh my God, he's talking about murder on the streets. So understandable fear that people might have considering January 6th when he didn't win. However, turns out our big, beautiful boy got clip-chimped. And I'm going to tell you exactly how in a moment. Let's take a look.
To the latest on our presidential race, the presumptive Republican nominee, former President Donald Trump, is taking heat for the language he used at a rally in Ohio over the weekend, where he lashed out at migrants and defended January 6 criminals. Ed O'Keefe has more now from the White House for us. Ed, Donald Trump's former vice president says he will not endorse him. We are in unusual territory here, to say the least. What is going on?
That's right, Tony. We sure are. Mike Pence says his differences with Donald Trump aren't over style or language. Pence argues his former boss is walking away from conservative principles like fiscal responsibility and opposition to abortion. So he can't back him.
I've come to the conclusion that I won't be endorsing Donald Trump this year.
A forceful rebuke from Donald.
Boo! Traitor, you have no constituency. No one cares. You suck. You abandoned our president in the moment that he needed you the most. You're a fake friend. You're a phony. We don't like you.
The reason why I won't endorse Donald Trump this year is because I see him departing from the mainstream conservative agenda.
Beyond policies, the two have clashed over the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. On Saturday, Trump kicked off an Ohio rally with support for the January 6th defendants.
Can you see the spirit from the hostages? And that's what they are, is hostages.
On Sunday, some members
Yeah, he called the J6ers hostages, which I think is awesome. He's an abolitionist. That is my abolitionist king. Our prison's obsolete. Folks, let me tell you, we must focus on rehabilitative justice because justice is what love looks like in public. That's right, folks. He's a prison abolitionist only for white people? Yes.
Trump went on to stoke fear about criminals coming across the southern border.
Well, I don't know if you call them people. In some cases, they're not people, in my opinion.
And speaking about the auto industry and cars manufactured abroad, he said,
We're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the
Look at this fucking dildo.
line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars. If I get elected, now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole... That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath.
the Biden campaign criticized
Immediately they seized on it. They clip chimped him. They seized on it. And they were like, wow, he's saying there's going to be a bloodbath. To be fair, under other circumstances, Trump has basically likened, he uses spicy language for sure. And and do I believe that he's not like memeing on what will happen if he doesn't get elected as far as like political violence? Certainly. But this isn't one of those instances. Do I believe personally that Donald Trump and his supporters might do another January 6th? Maybe. It's not unlikely, but he's not talking about that here. He's saying like it's going to be a bloodbath for you economically. Okay. It's obvious. The actual spicy language that he utilizes is not even spicy. It's just straight Nazi language that he utilizes when talking about undocumented immigrants and immigrants alike, where he basically said in that same speech moments prior to this that like these guys aren't human. How the do you not get mad at that, but you get mad at like it's going to be a bloodbath if you don't elect me? Because Democrats also are like, no, he's right on that. Like he's going full fash saying they're not people. And the Democrats are like, I can't believe he said it's going to be a bloodbath if he's not elected, because of the EV tariffs. It's very frustrating. It's very, 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 very frustrating. Look at that dude at the rally behind Trump with the red tie, black coat, and glasses. Is that the most incel looking motherfucker you've ever seen? Yes. He has the blockiest head I've ever seen in my life too.
Bath for the whole... That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
Now, of course, we don't have to think about what could happen if Donald Trump doesn't get elected and the bloodbath that might ensue, because he is going to get elected. Unless the Democrats change course dramatically, he already is going to get elected. So you don't have to worry about what happens when he doesn't. You should start worrying about what happens when he does. Ryan Grimm and Aaron Rupar went to war over this clip. Oh, this is funny. So do I have the straight? Trump said if he's not elected and we don't put tariffs on Chinese EVs, there will be a bloodbath in the auto industry. And that's reported as him saying there will be a general bloodbath. Headline writers, don't outsmart yourself. Just do Trump promises bloodbath if he doesn't win election. No, you don't have that right, but that's very on brand for you. So that's not what he said. I heard it in the clip. That's what it sounded like he said. I don't like Trump, but pretty sure Ryan got it right in what he said. Nope, when he says it'll be the least of it, he's referring to cars. The bloodbath of the whole country is not about cars. This is awesome. This is a perfect rehashing of 2016. Trump says something purposely incendiary. Liberals don't just like focus on all the other incendiary shit that he said that's like directly tangible policies. Liberals jump the gun and say, see, he used the term bloodbath. He means like they're going to do J6 style bloodbath. And then Trump and his supporters go, fake news. That's not what he was saying, because it literally wasn't what he was saying in that situation. And the irony, of course, is that he has basically said that, there will obviously be moments like of political violence on numerous other occasions. So like liberals feel galvanized in defending that position. They feel like of course he's going to do political violence. He's said it many, many times over. And then we consistently get like all those moderates to be more polarized that were already like begging to vote for Trump anyway. They were looking for any out and rehash the 2016 cycle over and over again. hyper focus on Donald Trump's incendiary statements in the wrong ways. Hyper focus on Trump's incendiary statements, not the actual ones that are like tangible and reflect his policy outlook. And then we have a semantics conversation over and over again. No, when he says that'll be the least of he's referring to cars. The bloodbath of the whole country is not about cars. I get why MAGAs and anti-Trumpers are muddying the waters, though. You can't be this stupid, so you must be lying. So you acknowledge that the first bloodbath was indeed a reference